There's definitely no better way to enjoy a day out on the lake than with our water trampoline. Now the first thing you want to keep in mind is you'll need some power source in order to inflate the trampoline. If you have a generator or maybe a houseboat, or you're close to somewhere that has regular house power, then you can use this shop vac here to inflate it, which goes a little bit faster than if you were to use our other pump that will connect to a battery. So this will use 12-volt battery from a boat or a vehicle to inflate the water trampoline. Now the very first thing you're going to do is open the water trampoline from the bag and lay it out. Now it's very critical that you pick good surroundings in order to lay that out. The trampoline is most often damaged from someone laying it out on bad terrain, and then that terrain punctures holes or damages the water trampoline there. And then once it's inflated, you'll want to get a helper or two to help you lift up the trampoline and carry it into the water. We don't want to be dragging it across the ground or anything of that nature. So I'll go ahead and lay that out now. Again, there's two different ways to inflate it. If you're going to use battery power, you have this pump that will clip onto the terminals of your battery, and then we'll inflate the device off of this connection here. Or on the back of this connection is a deflation. When you want to suck it down nice and flat to get it back in the bag, you can use that. We're going to go ahead and use the little quicker method, which is the shop vacuum here. And its air out port will inflate the water trampoline, and its normal vacuum port would deflate the trampoline. Now, most importantly, these little connectors here are actually surprisingly expensive to replace. So we ask that you take special care to not lose those. They're very proprietary to the kind of nozzle here on the water trampoline. So just make sure that you take good care of those and not misplace them or lose them. Now the air inlet here features this piston that goes down and up. When you attach the device that inflates the water trampoline, it pushes on and then locks on that way. And sometimes when that action happens, it actually can lock this piston in a downward position. When you're done inflating, you want to make sure that that piston comes back up, because it will be leaking air otherwise. Even though you have this dust cap that goes over the top of it, and it'll seem like it's sealing off the air, if that piston is in the down position, it's going to continue to leak air. So just make sure that that piston comes back up when you're done inflating the water trampoline. Now it's time to kick on the pump and let it do its job. Now it'll be time to attach the ladder. Now you'll want to inflate the water trampoline to be about as firm as a basketball, so nice and firm. And then when you go to attach the ladder, it's best to choose kind of the middle of a color section to attach that ladder to. Now at the top of the ladder are two little carabiner hooks here. And those carabiner hooks are just going to go right over the webbing and then screw down nice and tight on both sides. And you'll want the spacing to be maintained on the ladder there. And maybe narrow this one up just a little bit. Once the water trampoline's inflated, you'll want to put it into the water, again carefully not to drag it over any rough terrain, and go to about waist deep water if possible. Then you can lift the water trampoline up to get to this D-ring that's located underneath the water trampoline. For our purposes, I just have it tilted on end so that I can show you. But you'll want to take this twine here that we include and attach it to a bucket. And we include this bucket as well for you if you'd like. And you would tie this twine off to the bucket and have it filled with rocks. And then you would just drop this to the bottom of the lake at the depth that you would like, and then cut it off to tie it here to the D-ring. And that'll anchor the water trampoline from blowing away. Now you still need to use some common sense and be a little bit careful. If it's windy out on the lake, you'll want to make sure you just pull that water trampoline in so that it doesn't blow away on you. And then there's always an inherent danger with any water sport. So please monitor kids carefully, use your life jackets, and be smart about what you're doing. Next, I'm going to show you how to attach the optional log if you decide to add that to your reservation. I'm just going to open it up here, and the pump's attached to it the same way that it attached to the water trampoline. Again, you'll want to inflate it to be as firm as a basketball. Now on one end of the log are these big long straps, and there's 2 of them. You'll want to tuck it here through the water trampoline, and it's going to go all the way around the bumper and back around the bottom here. You're then going to pull it through the buckle, back towards the water trampoline, and pull until that's firmly and secured against the surface of the trampoline. Now the purpose of the log and what makes it fun is if you can run out all the way to the end without getting dumped off, and see if you can take the challenge. Next is the optional slide attachment. Now on the slide there's 2 inner blue bladders, and they need to be inflated about 50% of the way and then put inside the yellow sheath here. So to start, I'm just going to set aside the yellow sheath, inflate both of these to about 50%. Now you can see I've put these 50% inflated blue liners here inside the yellow sheath. The most important thing is to make the seams, make sure the seams are right on the very top and that the L shape, is quite symmetrical. Then inflate them the rest of the way. Now the slide's going to sit on the water trampoline about like so. Again, you want to choose the middle of a color section to put it on. And then this long strap's going to attach very similar to the log. Just down through the webbing, all the way around the bumper and into the buckle. Lock it down nice and tight. We hope you have a great time on the lake with our water trampoline. Again, we just want to stress the importance of safety. Make sure kids are wearing their life jackets. Make sure you're being smart about where on the lake you're putting the water trampoline. And just make sure there's close supervision. Another thing I want to mention, because it's going on the lake, any water trampoline, as somebody jumps on it, of course the water's going to absorb a lot of the shock. So don't expect to be bouncing high and doing back flips and front flips. All that will just be a little bit dangerous. It's just a fun bouncing surface to bounce around on and have a good time. Thanks again for choosing Planet Rentals.